Hello, this is a video presentation for Computer Science 428. My name is Owen, and my other group members are Mitchell, Hayden, and Yash. So, we chose to do our project on the CTV News website. Here is just a screenshot of the website from earlier today. And we had a few ideas about how we could improve this layout. I suppose if we're talking metaphors, a news website generally is like a newspaper, but it's also kind of like an archive at a library where you might want to go look at related stories or old stories as well as getting new stories. So both of our different interfaces that we tested are really concerned with refining the search feature, which we found not to be terribly helpful. So up here in the top right corner, it says search ctvnews.ca with some text there. You can type there and search. If you do that, you get a result like this. We search for the subject of potato, and we get a screen that looks something like this. You see we have 1,600 some results. It looks like it's just parsing through all the stories, looking for the word potato, and then organizing them by publishing date. Not as helpful as it could be. There are some refining options on the side here, but we had some different ideas about how we might lay that out. So our first interface, which we're going to call interface A, looks something like this. We thought a layout like this is a little bit more easy to understand at first. Maybe I'll go into some of those ideas in our conclusions later. But anyway, so we have along the top all the information somebody might want to know: where you are, you're at CTV News, what your location is, what the temperature outside is. This bar is similar to the one that they have along the top, where you can go to different sections of the website, just the news, videos, weather, size. This layout we thought was a little bit more readable than what they had, just with the top stories right there, and then local stories off on one side, and then feature. But anyway, the main thing to notice about this thing here, the more specific metaphor we were going for in the task for this one is the user is trying to refine their search in this instance. So after they would look at this, we're saying the user then is clicking on the magnifying glass in the search bar, which is taking them to the next page, which looks something like this. So we've redesigned the search bar and the way the results are presented. So firstly, we've decided somebody might want to be looking for just the entire website and also stories along the world. So we have a search global button, and then we have a search local button, which is a drop-down, which I'll go into more on the next slide. Then we thought it might be more useful to display the results in a layout more like this, where like the articles are on the left-hand side here. We've got the name, we've got a picture and some text to let you know the summary, and a date as to let you know when published, and then maybe separate the videos into their own column on the right-hand side here. And then we have a few other options saying like how many results there were there, and then additional filters, which is another drop-down menu. So if the user was to click on the search global button, the idea is that it's just going to search the whole website for stories that might be anywhere in the world. With the search local button, we thought it should be a drop-down, and you should be able to specify where you want the stories, where they're local to. I assume we could also have it like lots of websites do, where when you first arrive at the website, it asks you if they can use your location. So then the local thing will just go from where you, like your IP address of where you currently are. But you might be visiting somewhere and you want to get some local stories from another country. So you could go into this drop-down menu and specify where you want to, or maybe just another city within the same country. So giving people options in this example, we have specify what province you would like us to narrow the results down to, and then what city you want them to narrow results down to. Okay. And then, once the user has decided what they want and where they are, give them more options of how they want those results displayed. Like, we have a layout that we think is more readable, but maybe they want them sorted by date or by some other category, like I only want sports stories from their hometown, so the type. Or maybe they want it sorted by the author's byline, like they like what that journalist does, and so they just want to get results of what did... Anyway, just give the user more options to sort their results so that they don't have to filter through, as the previous example from the live website showed, like 1,600 examples. Okay, so now on to the second interface that we are testing, which we will call interface B. And the metaphor, it's very similar. It's just the user is trying to choose what category they want. How do they want their news displayed? So in this example, similar. We have a header along the top with the most common information, like the weather and your location. The idea here is that the search button isn't a drop down, so much a drop down. It's like it'll take you to another search page where you'll have a whole bunch of more options available to you. So if we go here, you'd be like, so from here, user clicks on the search button, we go to the search page. Now we've got a similar search bar. We have search bar along the top here where the user can type input text, and then we have a similar global button and a local button. And then some options for the user laid out, like, so that they don't have to specify in the drop-down menu what they want. Like maybe world news, or do you want just American news or Chinese news, or maybe, actually I don't want news from Manitoba, or I wanted news about the election. Like, we did this example before the election ended, so that's why that's there. So that's the idea on this page. Now, after someone had decided what they were looking for, in this example, they're searching for the word fight. With this layout, we decided give them just one column with all the results in order, but the key difference between this interface and interface A is this tag system. So we're tagging different things that are common in the story, and you can see what the tags are, and so that you know that the search engine is using these tags to refine your search. And we have a little plus symbol here where you can just add tags if you want to refine your search further. So this person really wants to know about the word fight in Regina, which is in Canada, so that's general, and then more specific. You could add other things, like maybe this person doesn't want to know about smoking, but they want to know about like a boxing match that happened. So they might tag boxing or sports or something. Just keep adding more tags and let the user see what those tags are. So we showed both of these interfaces to other group members to get some feedback. So here's just a little table of our feedback from the interface A. And these are bullet points that we got from all of our data points kind of consolidated together. So people liked that our idea was easy to refine, that they got a lot of options. They liked the layout, or when we explained it, they liked the layout better than the way that the links are laid out on the actual website. And they liked our use of a drop-down menu or a hamburger menu. In the first one, which didn't have the hashtag or the tag features, they noticed that was missing, and they weren't super happy with how many different clicks it took to finally get to the useful information. Now for interface B, same thing. These are consolidated data points from our testing. So our testers liked that it gave the user more power to refine their results. They liked the way that we laid out the header better, but they didn't. They kind of thought that the way that we had it on paper was a bit overwhelming. There was a lot of unnecessary information, maybe, or a user that wasn't familiar with the situation or with the layout might get confused and not know exactly what to do. There was a few things that were missing. They didn't seem to have a way to search by date. It wasn't obvious when the stories were posted, so that could be something that the user might not find very helpful. Yeah. So those are our lo-fi options. The hi-fi option, we think we're going to go with, we're going to take this feedback and we're going to go with something closer to interface A. More of a layout, something similar to this, with some of the added functionality from interface B that we got good feedback on, like the hashtag with the tag system, and then just some of the ideas about the layout. So if I bring over the live website right now to just illustrate some of what I'm talking about. So some of the other ideas in our hi-fi feature that we're going to implement is on the main website here. You'll notice on the left and on the right there are large spaces on a desktop monitor that's just unused. That is something that we are going to take up more of our design is going to use more of that area to present information to the user. Some of this information, like the weather here, we're going to move to a banner up in the top that I think we like it, the idea of it being sticky. So you see if I scroll down, like we lose that information as we go further down. So we like something like the weather and our hamburger menu with all of the search drop-down options as part of that sticky banner, so that the user always has access to it as they scroll down. And then our layout, we find it a little bit more readable. Like, so if I scroll down here, we see like we've got the headline story here, the nice big picture. That's not too bad. But then we've got just some videos over here that's not clear. How are they organized? What are these videos about? We just have the little summary here. Then as we scroll down, we have top stories, which are all just listed as plain text in the center column. And then something called InsideCTV.ca, which is, it's unclear as to what these stories are. They have a photograph. Why do they have a photograph and not the top stories? This is sort of a mess. We also had issues with like how these social media links are. Like if I click here, this is just a little pop-up menu showing you like this is the thing here in case you wanted to join it. Or if I hover over Facebook, doesn't even seem to be functioning correctly. It's strange that also that this is just halfway down. Like this, it's not in the page as you join it. You have to scroll down. Oh, there's the social media functions, and then they go away as you scroll past them. So the way that we have it laid out in here, we find something like this to be a bit more readable that uses more of the screen real estate. So those are some of the ideas we have from our lo-fi prototypes and the feedback we got that we're going to use for our hi-fi. I believe that's all I wanted to get across in this video. So thank you for watching.